On episode 201 of He Said, She Said movie reviews, we take a look at the Prime Video movie, The Sound of Metal. Welcome to He Said, She Said movie reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we just saw the critically acclaimed Sound of Metal. What do you give this one, April?
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought it was a great movie.
You know, I'm going to go with 4. I think it was just, this was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. And to me, it's a 4 movie.
Okay.
This is, by the way, it's an Amazon Prime movie.
Okay.
So we have no trailers to tell you about.
Absolutely. And the storyline basically is about a heavy metal drummer's life. He's thrown into free fall when he begins to lose his hearing.
This is directed by Darius Marder. He's also one of the 2 writers, and he has one other writing credit, The Place Beyond the Pines, and this was his first directing credit. And it was written with his brother, Abraham Marder, who this is his first writing credit. And a piece of note for Abraham, he was the one who produced all the music that was in this movie.
Right,
So,
which I also thought was good.
this had a good cast. It had Riz Ahmed playing the title role of Ruben, then Olivia Cooke, Paul Raci, Lauren Ridloff, Mathieu, Amalric, Domenico, Toledo, and Chelsea Lee.
All righty. The runtime was 120 minutes. It's rated R for language throughout and brief nude images.
This was an interesting story.
Yes,
it had a really, well, let's talk about the theme first, because I think the theme of this movie, it covers addiction and mental health.
Agreed.
And I think Riz Ahmed, who played Ruben, the main character, he's the protagonist. He had such a great story arc in this. He went from one extreme. It really got resolved in this movie.
Yes, it was a great storyline. It was interesting. It was something I've never seen before. And yes, although it was about mental health and addiction, it was about loss. It was about there's some themes about starting over in different directions with people than without people. I mean, this is a really good movie. And also, we see a lot of movies where I leave and I worry about the character. But in this one, this is interesting. I'm not worried about him, which was really nice. After an investment,
well, like I said, I think the movie had a really good story arc. I mean, he really got resolved. What'd you think of the characters in this movie?
I think that the characters, especially of him, of Ruben, was great. I loved the character of Joe. Lou, I'm not sure she was the right woman lead in this movie. I just didn't, I don't know what it was. Maybe it wasn't deep enough. I don't know. I just didn't really feel it.
Well, I don't think we got enough I think the character of Lou wasn't built enough in the script. She was a heavily important part of Ruben's life, yet as far as the character and being filled out, and she seemed like a very flat character and not a lot of dimension to her. So we didn't get much about her.
Right. What I found was interesting is that the main character, I mean, he was amazing, Riz was. I mean, his whole character, I could feel everything he was feeling. So I think that the development of his character, I love the relationship between him and Paul. I mean, there were a lot of good things, but I will say that I thought the acting was really well done.
For the most part, but once again, I think Lou might have been a miscast. The character of Lou was a miscast. It's just...
Yeah,
I think,
but that's okay.
But Riz Ahmed, he was nominated for the Golden Globe for Best Actor,
and he deserves it.
And he's also nominated for Best Actor in the Oscars, so an Academy Award. So you know what kind of movie you're getting when you have an actor
Absolutely. I also thought the direction was really good in this movie.
Yeah, for a first-time director, I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
The score, it was very out there in front because, this was a movie about heavy metal drummer. So,
I thought he did good.
Yeah, and I thought there was a great mix of the heavy metal music and the softer music. What I thought was interesting, if we want to talk about music and stuff, I never knew that there were two people bands, that only had two people. I mean, it was a two-person band. You had the character of Ruben playing the drums and Lou played the guitar and sang.
True.
I thought that was interesting. And it just shows a little bit of my ignorance, I guess. What did you think of the cinematography?
I thought it was fine.
Okay.
In the production design, even in their trailer, I thought as it moved from outdoors and towns, I thought they did a good job.
What I found really interesting in this movie was in the special effects. And in reality, there was no special effects in this movie. But what they did do really well, and I lumped this into special effects, was showing him losing his hearing. Yeah. And from his perspective of what he was hearing. Throughout the movie, it got worse and worse to the point that he wasn't hearing anymore.
The editing was fantastic. Right?
Yeah, I thought the editing was great. And for a movie that wasn't an action movie or anything like that, I thought the pace was fine.
Yeah.
To me, sometimes movies like this can be a little slow at times.
I agree.
I didn't think this movie was slow.
No, and the dialogue, I think, was very well written. And again, let me just throw it out there. Joe, the character Joe, who is Paul Raci, the relationship with Riz, I thought that was great. But I found it very interesting with Paul that he is actually a child of two deaf parents.
Yeah.
So they cast someone that I learned some things, and I just thought it was very authentic. And I just, as an actor...
absolutely. I think it was authentic. I mean, especially coming from the point of view of having been raised by two deaf parents. He knew about the lifestyle.
Yeah, and again, there's parts of this movie that is sad, but there's also parts of this movie that they're good. They're about growth. They're about taking something very difficult to deal with and watching someone overcome it. How is he going to do this? I mean,
right, because being a drummer and hearing was everything to him.
Everything.
And that
it was his
life.
passion.
And this is not a spoiler because you see this very much in the beginning of the movie. The drumming and touring was the lifestyle that kept him away from his addiction of alcohol and drugs.
Agreed. So, and it's very interesting, folks, that in the theme of addiction and within mental health, that people also get addicted to each other.
Yes, that was clear in the movie.
Oh, yeah. It was very, very interesting. But you know how I always talk about how people come in and out of your life. You grow, you move, and then you're there for other people. It was just interesting. It was. But again, I left that movie really believing in my character with him, who I invested a lot of myself during the movie.
And although this movie doesn't have what I would call a happy ending, it's not a romance type of happy ending movie.
No, it's not a Hollywood happy. No.
It was really interesting because I was satisfied how it ended.
Me too.
I was definitely, it's like, oh, Ruben's going to be okay.
Yep, I agree with that.
So once again, this is the Sound of Metal. April gives this movie 3.5 stars. I give it 4 stars. It's definitely worth the time to watch. I think it's very well acted and very well directed.
I agree, and it's different, folks. I don't know how you are, but I love seeing movies that are different themes, different tones. I love that part of it.
Yeah, this was more like an art house film. And we're going to be talking about another film coming up here in 1 or 2 episodes that we saw last night that was more of an art house type of film.
Oh, absolutely.
The Wake of Light, or I can't even remember the name of the movie.
It was The Wake of Light, I believe.
The Wake of Light.
It was really good.
We'll be telling you about that in 2 episodes. So.
All right. Well, I just want to thank everyone again for all of your support. I think this is our 201st. We really appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you spreading the word. And stay happy, and please stay healthy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And wear your mask.
Wear your mask. We'll see you at the movies.
Thanks a lot. See you at the movies.